Now, this will be clickbait on some other people's YouTube channels, but it's not Donald Trump. It's the Trump administration. They reportedly really wants Paramount to acquire Warner Brothers. The quote is, Warner really needs to think really hard about the odds and success of getting the deal cleared with the players outside of Paramount Skydance, says a senior Trump administration official. So that's what's going on in current events. And welcome to Saturday Morning Redo Pod. This is number 3. Will there be a number 4? I'm kind of running out of topics here. But so before any acquisition of Warner Brothers happens, I thought I would go into my delusional rant about what would I do if I owned Warner Brothers. Now, it costs billions of dollars, trillions of dollars, billions of dollars to acquire Warner Brothers. So chances are, if you have time to listen to my video and watch my video, you don't have the ability to buy Warner Brothers, and neither do I. But let's make this about me. This is my video. What would I do? I think the first thing I would do, there's a lot of things, but the first thing I would do is try to bring back Saturday morning cartoons in a somewhat limited capacity. Like the Scooby-Doos and I know Jellystone. I think Jellystone had like one more season, and I haven't watched that yet. But bring it back with all the favorites, and like I know MeTV has the classics, but wouldn't it be nice to have seen that on a station, right? So that's what I like to see. With the Hanna-Barbera, I would like to bring back Scoop. I would want to see a sequel to Scoop. Maybe just get rid of Will Forte and let Matthew Lillard take back the voice of Shaggy, and continue on with the Hanna-Barbera universe with the Wacky Races. I saw a Wacky Races AI movie that wasn't perfect, but it was like, where is this damn movie at? We never got it. We got Scoob, but the pandemic hit, and Scoob never hit theaters. So we got it on like digital release and subscription. Then there was supposed to be a sequel to that. Never got it. And we never got the Wacky Races stuff. So I'd like to bring back that stuff. I'd like to bring back the Yogi Bear stuff and the Flintstones. Okay, you could easily have a Flintstones. Was it Scooby meets the Flintstones? It's like the Jetsons, but it's Scooby Doo and the Flintstones. Right? They actually meet. Like that has never happened. Like people would go see that. Sure, they could go see it. I would get James Arnold Taylor to do the Fred Flintstone voice. So you do it how you want to do it. You could do it if it's more for kids, probably the Henry Corden voice. If it's more for adults, maybe the Alan Reed voice. I would seriously try to bring back that universe that's been sorely lacking. Okay, and speaking of that, like I would make sure that the Coyote versus Acme movie is actually released to the public, as well as the the Bugs Bunny. There was the Porky Pig Daffy Duck movie came out, but I would try to do more with the Looney Tunes stuff. Now, there's only so much you can do, because when we get to the 2030s, Porky Pig and Daffy Duck will become public domain. 2036 is when Bugs Bunny will become public domain. So you try to do a lot with these. There's so much there with the Looney Tunes. Okay, Tiny Toons. Has Tiny Toons made a comeback? I know Animaniacs did. Hysteria never made a comeback. So there's just so much. There's so much there in the Looney Tunes universe. I like to see that stuff come back. I like to see Looney Tunes come back. I like to see the Flintstones come back somehow. What else? So, okay. James Gunn talked about Elseworlds, but really the Elseworld stuff is very thin. Okay. Now, there's going to be a Batman Nightfall, Night Quest, Night's End series next year. And we had a Batman Ninja sequel that came out early this year. So we haven't had a lot of room for a lot of DC stuff. You know what I'm watching now? I'm watching The Dark Knight Returns, the animated movies, for the first time ever. I have never watched these movies. I read a little bit of the book, but I have never watched the animated series. So it's good TV. I still remember Michael Ironside doing the voice of the old Batman from the '97 series, but then for the full series, for the full thing, they got Peter Weller, and it's a classic, and you can watch it for free with ads on YouTube. I think you have to pay for the deluxe edition, and that's like like almost a 3 hour movie. That's worth it, worth your time. This is the one Zack Snyder likes. I would try to bring Elseworlds concepts in. Uh, Now, somebody said with Paramount you'd have Batman and Ninja Turtles. I would try to put in some of my feelings and thoughts. I know there's an Aztec Batman movie coming out. I don't know if that's any good or not. They give some allowance for these things, but some of the Elseworld stuff is shit. It really is. Harley Quinn has lost her popularity. I do believe, I could be wrong, but I do believe that Harley Quinn, the Birds of Prey, rose her popularity up. And even the Suicide Squad, we'll have to credit that. So, with Margot Robbie, she really propelled that character, and people cared about Harley Quinn. But did you notice there's been a decline in caring about Harley Quinn now? Like, it's there, but not as much there as it could have been. So, the Elseworld stuff is all over the place. You could give Panos Cosmatos, I would get Panos Cosmatos to come in and do his own version of a superhero movie, whichever one he wants. I would make room for Elseworlds. I would label them Elseworlds. Uh, there would be an Elseworlds disclaimer at the beginning of the movie. Like, it would have to be narrated. In Elseworlds, things are taken from other worlds, and should not, and cannot exist, right? Like the first couple of movies, you'd have the narrator say, "This is an Elseworlds movie," right? And then after that, it's just disclaimer, 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 so that you'd know which one's not. So if you want to see a live action Batman in samurai times, like you'd want to have, or an Edo period, or a Viking Batman, like some of those Elseworlds Batman, or Aquaman during the time of Atlantis, like you would have an Elseworlds logo. Because let other people make their damn movies. I've seen surveys for what should be an Elseworlds movie. Somebody said the most voted for was Batman with Ben Affleck. And I would restore the Snyderverse. Now, there still is an audience for what James Gunn has been creating, but not instead of the Zack Snyder universe. Now, one of the things Zack Snyder said as he had quit, was that, it would be better to shoot movies, maybe as an animated movie, but it's better to shoot things the way you want to do it, the way you plan to do it, like you storyboard it. So I don't think he could approach, like the original ideas, the original drafts he had, I don't think he can go back to those. Lois Lane cannot fall in love with Bruce Wayne. That would only make sense, and the audience would accept it if the two had known each other before. So that's one of the things that should happen. So you got the Snyderverse, you got Bugs Bunny, you got Looney Tunes, you got Hanna-Barbera, and you got, what else? You got, those are the three major food groups, and having the Elseworld stuff. I would take a look at the other IPs that Warner Brothers has. They have currently the media rights for Harry Potter, right? So I don't know how Harry Potter is going to go, but there's all kinds of things you can do. I would phase out. Well, they said they would stop making video games. I would try to get somebody to make a Superman video game. We need a Superman video game badly. Okay? What was the last one? If you had to go back, I think the last one might have been on the Xbox, right? We're not counting DC Universe or Lego Superman or anything like that. We're talking about when you had a solo Superman game. That was the 2004 Xbox game called Superman the Man of Steel. I think that was after the animated series stuff, Apocalypse. So I would try to get a Superman video game done, and there was supposed to be a Wonder Woman video game that got shelved. And these are the things I would do. And I've been seeing Sonic the Hedgehog crossovers with Superman. Maybe that could work. I don't think you could do it in theaters because Paramount has the movie rights to Sonic. So maybe TV rights, possibly. If Netflix wants to acquire it, but I don't think they said they are motivated. But if Netflix had it, maybe because I think Sonic Prime is still on Netflix, you could have a Sonic superhero crossover. But I've been seeing Shadow as Batman, Sonic as no Knuckles as Superman. Okay, Sonic as the Green Lantern, and Amy as Wonder Woman. I've been seeing a lot of that stuff. So there could be allowances for different things. The two big things I think I could think of right now that aren't completely owned by a company is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe and Sonic the Hedgehog, and probably like Banjo Kazooie. So if I were to get I would get Banjo Kazooie to cross over with Bugs Bunny or Conquer the Squirrel meets Daffy Duck. I would get some of the Rareware IP in there, or Sonic the Hedgehog, except for the movies because they're still taking over the movies. I would try to get like whatever IP is not too red. These are like IP without red tape. He-Man and Skeletor to cross over with Superman and Batman in a cartoon. That would not be here. I would try to do that. I would try to get like a crossover event with that because with Masters of the Universe, you don't need a lot of red tape for that. So I would try to bring back the 2000s, 2010s era of storytelling and to be like, okay, we got to get this back. We got to get some of this crazy shit back. Cuz right now, if it's not woke, it's fucking broke. Tyrone Magnus was watching Predator Badlands and saying, "Oh, but that's not woke." Steve Asbell is in charge, and Steve Asbell, even if he is woke, he doesn't break the things that he's touching. So that's why I kind of like the creator last year. So Elseworlds, very few crossovers with other companies. More of the Zack Snyder universe. We'll keep some of the James Gunn stuff, and we'll see. I would say, with the James Gunn stuff. Okay, here's where I would go. Okay, because technically he's had Peacemaker 2, which didn't do well, more than the first one. Creature Commandos came out. Some people liked it, some people didn't. Here's what I would do. Okay, so here's my figures: Superman, Supergirl, Man of Tomorrow, done. Okay, and see and we'll see the decline of numbers and say, well, James, we gave you three movies, you failed, so now we're gonna get some more Zack Snyder stuff. And honestly, I don't mind some of the bright, colorful superhero movies if it connects to Zack Snyder stuff. I don't think the dark sort of Lovecraft kind of dark moody works for every single superhero in every single movie. I think like for Plastic Man, no. Shazam, no. But when it works, it works. And that is it. That is what I would do if Maestro Drake bought Warner Brothers DC. What would I do with Discovery? I think David Zaslav's going to take off with Discovery, so I wouldn't discover much. What would you do? You could write in the comments below, and stay tuned for more content. I think I'm going to try to get a downloaded game later on today.